Hello, I'm Jillian from Jillian Studio, and today we are going to work on core strengtheners. A lot of times when I go into my studio to teach yoga, I ask my students what they would like to work on that day, and a lot of times they say core strengtheners, and I laugh because first of all, you never ask me for a core class unless you want to really sweat and get hot and sweaty and be sore the next day, which maybe that's what they're wanting, but they all seem to groan when anyone suggests the core strengthener class. But also I laugh because all yoga is a core strengthener, so even if you're not in a class that is tagged with that description, you're still getting core strength, because while you're practicing yoga, you should continue to pull the low belly in to help protect the low back and keep a long straight spine, and just doing that helps strengthen the core. But today I would like to focus on just a few different exercises you could do on your own to help strengthen the core a little more and give yourself a little sore belly the next day when you wake up. So we're going to start in child's pose. So child's pose is where we push our weight back towards our heels and drape our spine over our thighs, spreading the fingers nice and wide. You might rock here back and forth for a moment and then settle in to your hips. We're going to take a few deep breaths here, encouraging your breath to come up from the belly and draw energy up through the shoulders and then back and down into the belly with the exhale. So as you breathe here, you should feel your shoulder blades expanding with your breath. Another moment just to breathe into the shoulder blades, keeping the head down, aware of your fingertips into the mat, relaxing in between the collarbone and the ribs. One more breath here, just noticing your low back and your hips as you lay here. And lift your belly button. Start to engage that belly button, drawing it in towards the spine, and allow the tailbone to reach a little further back towards the toes. So by doing this, we're already engaging our core, lifting the belly button and letting the tailbone reach towards the toes. So one more breath, just trying to lift the belly button off the thighs without even using the arms yet, just lifting that belly button. One more breath. And then we're going to inhale and come up to a tabletop, rolling our shoulders away from the ears, lifting that belly button again towards the spine and the tailbone straight back, drawing the chin in slightly to create a strong straight spine. From here we're going to start our cat-cows. Inhale to lift up, looking up, dropping the belly, hips tilt towards the stars. And then as you exhale, lifting the low belly, dropping the head, and now you're in a cat tilt. And then an inhale to again pull forward to a cow tilt. And then exhale, sighing it out, going back to your cat tilt. So doing this a few more times on your own. This is Chakravakasana, and it feels very nice through the spine. Letting this be a very intuitive movement and flow. Maybe pushing the hips further back on the exhale if that feels good to your low back. Drawing the belly super in and tight. So we're warming up our spine, warming up our bellies, getting ready for a little bit more aggressive core work. Let's do one more flow, finding a strong cow, and then exhale to find your cat, and just hold here for a moment, shaking out the head, yes and no, breathing through the backs of the shoulders, and then inhale back to your strong tabletop, drawing the chin slightly in, shoulder blades down, lifting the belly. And we're going to inhale the right leg long back behind us, toes towards the earth, and then inhale up the left arm out in front of us, shoulders back and down, strong belly. And you should already start to feel your core drawing in to help the spine hold this straight line. And then let's do some movement here. Inhale through the fingertips, through the heel, and then as you exhale, you're lifting the belly button up, and you're going to try to kiss the elbow to knee. And then again, you inhale, lengthen it up and back, and then exhale, kissing elbow to knee, and allow that belly button to come up towards the spine as you flow, just like this. Inhale and lengthen through. Exhale, kissing elbow to knee. Do this a few more times. Last one, exhale, pulling it in, hold it in tight, squeeze, 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 one more squeeze, kiss it, smell it. Inhale to lift it out. Exhale to release back to your tabletop, and I like to move here, maybe in the shoulders, lifting again into a cow. Exhale, side into a cat tilt. And then inhale back to your strong tabletop, lifting that belly button, push in to the feet. And let's do the other side. So we're going to reach now the left leg back, pulling the toes towards the stars. Maybe a rotation there in the leg to just see how that feels for a moment. And then the right arm is going to come out in front of us, shoulders back and down. Spread the fingers and let's have our flow. Inhale to lengthen here in your tabletop. Exhale to curl elbow to knee. And then again, inhale, reaching up, lift the belly button. Exhale, curl, lift the belly button, lift your belly button, elbow to knee. Again, inhale, up. Exhale, elbow to knee. A few more times just like that, flowing as fast or as slow as you might like it. Let's do two more, reaching through. Exhale, curling in. Last one, inhale. Exhale to curl in and hold, kissing that elbow to knee. Hold it up, squeeze the belly button, look down at your knee, kiss it, and then release back out and flowing back down. And again, you can wiggle it back and forth, shake it out, taking a breath, maybe another child's pose. And then I would like a down dog. So following into a down dog if you wish, shoulders back. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to tuck your toes, pushing your heels towards the mat, lifting the hips. An upside down V. You can walk this down dog out if you want. I always like to think of a big elephant, pushing my weight back and forth into my hips and allowing that movement to come through my hands. Trying it out. Remember your breath. Remember your focus here on your body, on your mat, letting everything else go. Exhale, pushing back into the heels. Down dog is a great core strengthener, lifting that belly button up so much that you feel it drawing energy up into the rib cage. One more breath here. And then let's inhale to pull forward. Top of our push-up. The thighs are strong, shoulders back. Let's try to hold here. One breath. And then two breaths. Find that belly button. Lift it towards those heels. Lift it towards the thighs. One more breath. Exhale to lower down. Everything down all at once. And shake it out. Sigh it out as the legs go back and forth, or you could bend the knees, let the toes go up towards the stars. Playing that a few times. Then we're going to release our feet onto the mat. The tailbone goes towards the toes and you're lifting your belly button. So just imagine there's a little marble on the earth and you're lifting that marble up off the earth with just your belly button. So make a little critter hole or a little lift of that marble and squeeze the belly, tailbone towards the toes. You're still lifting that belly button. Lift it up, lift it up. It should not be touching the earth, or at least try not to touch the earth. One more breath. And then release back onto your mat. Again, just wiggle those feet back and forth. Alright. Relaxing the feet once again. You're going to squeeze everything into your middle. And we're going to inhale, lift the legs off the mat. And then reach back behind us and lift the arms off the mat. And that brings our heart up. So we're in a locust, looking in the front of your mat. So not looking up, you're looking out. Shoulders back and down. We're going to take a breath here to lift the belly button even taller, even stronger. Open the heart a little more. Reach the legs back a little more. One more inhale. Exhale to release it back on the mat again. Wiggling the hips or bend those knees. Windshield wipering the feet back and forth. Let's do another locust because it feels so nice on our bellies to lift that belly button up and help bring our back bend into a strong arch by using our core. So let's do that again. Squeezing the belly button up towards the stars, lifting the legs, lifting the heart, and we're inhaling the arms back behind us, reaching back, and then we're going to exhale, arms like a T. Inhale, arms overhead a little more. Reach of that back bend. Exhale, arms like a T. Inhale, arms back behind you a little more. Reach with that back bend. Lift that belly button. One more time. Exhale, arms like a T. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, arms like a T. Inhale, arms back behind you. Reach, 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 reach. Shoulders back. Lengthen through the chin. Exhale, release it down. Shaking out those hips. Again, bend those knees back and forth if you would like. Relaxing those legs back on the mat. Let's pull our hands underneath our shoulders and our elbows glued to our ribs. We squeeze our belly strong. Toes reach to the back of our mat, and we inhale to push through the hands. And you come up to your cobra of choice. So it could be a tiny little baby cobra. It could be a adolescent cobra. It could be an adult cobra. You go to where you're happy. Shoulders back and down. Close the eyes. Stretch through the abdomen. One more breath here. Exhale, flowing back on the earth. So it's important to do counter poses. So we strengthen the core, stretch the core. Strengthen the core, stretch the core. Now let's roll onto our backs. Not overthinking it. Just roll over onto your back. Laying down. Shoulders on the mat. Bend the knees. We're going to place our hands underneath the small of our back or the hips, right around the sacrum, that triangle spot. And then draw the knees in towards the chest and then take them up towards the stars. Relax the shoulders. And just notice how as we lift our legs, our core is strong. And our thighs hug in and we pull back on our toes with the inhale. And let's exhale, point the toes up towards the stars. And again, exhale, pull back on those toes. That's an inhale, excuse me. And then exhale, point the toes. One more time. Inhale, pull back on the toes. Exhale to point the toes. Engage the low belly, drawing it down towards the spine this time. And then draw the knees back in towards the chest. A little rock here for a moment. And then we're going to start doing some leg lifts to help engage our low belly, affecting our hips and our low back, but we're strengthening it, making it so strong. So another inhale to take the legs up towards the stars, thighs hug in, pull back on the toes, try to pull the toes towards the face, and then on your own timing, on your own breath, you're going to start to lower the legs to a comfortable spot that feels good for you until you feel the core engage, that low belly engage, and then you stop. and you hold and you breathe. So you might go an inch, you might go a mile. Your legs might go all the way down where they're just hovering over the mat, and that's okay. They might stay up a little higher, and that's okay. You go to where you're happy. One more breath. Inhale the legs back up. Exhale the knees back in toward the chest. A little windshield wipe of the knees. And we're going to do that one more time. The holding. Inhale the legs up. Exhale to drop the legs to a comfortable spot and hold. And you want to go where you feel the core, but you don't feel any strain in your low back. So as soon as your low back starts to pop off the mat a little bit or get a little weakened or tired, you lift the legs a little bit, because you want the core to do the work, not the back. So one more breath, squeeze in the belly, squeeze the thighs, one more inhale. And then lift the legs back up. Exhale, the knees in towards the chest, swaying it back and forth. And then we're going to let the legs come along on the mat again. Back into our leg here, probably back on the toes, and then we're going to reach the arms up almost like we're doing a crunch. We're going to lift the heart up towards the stars and then lift the legs. And so you're trying your best to lift off the mat as much as you can with a breath, and then release it down. So some people might lift a little bit. Some people might not lift off the mat at all, but what we want is the core right here, the belly, to do all the work to try to lift you off the mat. So let's do that again. Squeezing the belly, shoulders back, and we lift the arms like you're doing a crunch. The arms reach up, and then the legs. So we pull back on the toes, and we squeeze the belly in. There's no strain in the neck. Let it relax. One more breath. Exhale to release it back on the mat. The windshield wiper of the feet. Open the legs out as wide as they can go comfortably, like a V. And let the arms go back behind you like a V. So we're in our starfish, soaking up all the rays at the beach, relaxing the shoulders, closing the eyes. So another moment here in our starfish, really stretching through the legs and the arms to find a stretch through the core, through the belly, maybe a wiggle of the feet back and forth. One more moment here. Noticing your breath. Noticing where your thoughts are. Bring them back on your body, your breath, letting go of everything else. And now this starfish is going to try to fold. So you'll take a big inhale. And then exhale, you try to fold your starfish, reaching towards your toes, or you're trying to meet your toes to your hands, and then relax it back behind you, nice and gracefully. And then again, a big inhale, exhale, fold that starfish, squeeze, 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 lift, 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 lift. One more breath. Relax it back down. We're going to do that one more time. Third time's a charm. So taking a breath, exhale, excuse me. Squeezing, 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 and release it down. One more moment here. Big inhale. Exhale, squeeze, 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 and release it down. You can start to wiggle out those legs here. Let the arms relax back by your sides. And we're going to pull our feet underneath us, taking the shoulders back away from the ears, and then just windshield wipering the knees back and forth for a moment. Just back and forth, noticing how that feels in our hips and our low back. Then our arms are going to come out like a T, as wide as possible. And you're going to take another inhale. And then as you exhale, let the knees drop over towards the right side of your mat and look over the left shoulder. So we're stretching through the hips. We close the eyes. Putting a nice relaxing breath through the core, through the low back. One more moment. And then draw the knees back to neutral, head back to neutral. Windshield wiper the feet again, back and forth. And then let them drop now over towards the left side of your mat. Then you look over the right shoulder, relaxing in to this right side waist, this right oblique. Another moment. And then drawing that back up, and then the head back up. Another wiggle back and forth. And without overthinking it again. No more thought other than, I'm rolling over. You roll over onto your belly. Elbows glued to your ribs. Shoulders back and down. Hands into the mat, spreading those fingers. We inhale and lift up and off the mat. Again into your cobra of choice. Stretching out the abdomen, shoulders back, lifting the chin up if that's comfortable for your neck. One more breath. And then exhale to float it back on the mat. Tuck the toes. Inhale up through a straight line, and then exhale, downward facing dog, and you wiggle that down dog out again, finding those elephant walks, bringing the knees in and then back out, stretching through the backs of the legs, push through the heels. One more breath here. And then inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, reach the hips back, and you're in your child's pose, rounding out the spine. One more breath here. And then inhale back to a tabletop. Exhale to tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. We're going to inhale to our plank, a strong straight plank, and we're going to do a little push up and then twist up and lift. So engaging the core, and we're finding our obliques, which are also part of our core, lifting up and out of that side waist in a side plank. One more breath. And then swaying back down to your plank, and then twisting up, going to the other direction. Make sure your tailbone goes towards your toes. Another breath here. And then again, unwind, a little push up, and then a twist up. So you could go as fast or as slow as you want with this movement. It's coming through a plank and then twisting back up the other direction. Let's do that at least one more time each side. Twisting up, obliques, obliques, getting stronger. Tuck the tailbone towards the toes. Pushing down. Flowing up, shoulders back. Squeeze the belly. Last time, breathing here. Knees towards the mat. Inhale up, cat or cow. And then exhale, cat. So rounding out the spine another time. Relaxing in. Let's do one more breath. Inhale forward, shoulders back. And then exhale, tuck the toes, reach back again, downward facing dog. See if those heels can try to touch the mat, and then bend the knees, trying to kiss that belly button to the thighs, head super low. And then straighten the legs, try to touch the heels towards the mat. And then again, bend the knees, kiss that belly button to the thighs. One more time, straighten the legs, shoulders back. Exhale, kiss those belly buttons to the thighs. And then back to down dog, little swaying wiggle steps coming up to your forward fold, clasping your elbows, putting a slight bend in the knees here, maybe a grandfather clock sway, back and forth. One more breath. Aware of your feet on the earth, aware of your back stretching towards the earth. Relax that sway back and forth, hands back towards the toes. Let's inhale, halfway lift, shoulders back and down, bend the knees gently. Exhale, forward fold. Let's do that again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Last time, inhale up, halfway lift. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale all the way up through standing, through the back body. Inhale to look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, shoulders back and down. Let's do a few more of those. Inhale, lifting from the core, from the belly, looking up. Exhale, a slow swan dive, reaching back towards the toes, bending the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders back. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale all the way up through that halfway mark, tailbone down, lift the belly button, lift the crown, looking up. Exhale, hands to heart center, shoulders back away from the ears. One more big inhale, looking up, little back bend, stretch through that belly. Exhale, a swan dive, reach back towards the toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release. Inhale up halfway. Open those toes up. So I'm going to rotate so you can see. Rotate the toes out slightly and come into your squat, shoulders back. So stretching through the hips and letting the low belly relax for a moment, and then squeezing it in nice and tight. And we're just going to hold here for a moment, centering our weight into our feet, closing the eyes. And if squat doesn't quite work for you, that's fine. Have a seat and do soles of the feet together. So I'm showing now butterfly, which you could do instead of squat. So go to where you're happy, coming back up into squat. Relax the face, relax the hands, relax the shoulders. Come back into your 3-part breath, that yummy belly breath that helps engage the core and strengthen the core and give breath and life into our bodies. So another moment for this 3-part breath, just settling into our feet, settling into our day. One more breath here. And then you're going to reach back, and we all will find the soles of our feet together into a butterfly. And I like to reach my fingers back behind me and lift my heart up a little bit taller, letting those heels meet and the knees open up. And we'll do one more breath here. And then as you exhale, I want you to twist towards the right, keeping the shoulders down. Just a little twist, stretching out through the obliques. Since we did a little oblique work, we've done some core work. Then we're going to twist back to neutral with your inhale, and then take a breath. And with your exhale, other way, twisting towards the left. Shoulders stay back. Make sure you're still rooted through that right hip, even though you're twisting towards the left. And then back to the front. Inhale through the heart, and let's exhale to take a fold, rounding out our spine. Another moment to stretch through the hips and close the eyes, and giving yourself a few deep breaths to settle in. And we'll inhale to scoop the heart up. Exhale, close the knees like a book. Reach them out in front of you. Toes up, thighs are strong, shoulders back. We inhale to float up with the arms, and then exhale to take a fold. Again, reaching towards the toes. Another breath or two here. Noticing the backs of your legs, noticing the low back, the hips. One more inhale. And then inhale to come up, and as you do, draw the shoulders up to your ears, squeezing into our turtleneck. Nice squeeze, squeeze, squeeze of those shoulders. And we're going to take 3 breaths all together, and we're going to roll our shoulders back and down. But wait just a moment before we do. You're going to draw all negativity, all doubt, fear, pain, anything that does not belong in your system, does not belong on your mind, anything that does not serve you. Draw in towards the shoulder blades, and with each breath, we're going to roll it off our backs, into the mat, into the earth, and away from us forever. So another inhale, drawing it in, scooping it up, balling it up. Now exhale, let it go, roll it away. Again, inhale it up. Exhale, let it go. Last time, inhale, drawing it up. And then let it go. Draw your knees in. Hide your eyes, or your chin comes to your knees. Maybe a little sway back and forth with the feet or the head. And then come into a cross-legged position, and just give yourself a moment to settle in. So we won't do a shavasana where we lay out on the mat and relax, unless you're wanting that, and please feel free to do that. But since we just did a quick little core strengthener, just something to maybe get us ready for the day, or to make us a little stronger before bed, whatever, whenever you can fit this into your schedule, just give yourself time to sit on your mat, to draw energy up and through the crown and back down into the hips, to calm the breath, close the eyes. Give your body time to register any changes that you might have created with your movements today. Letting everything sink into our muscle memory. Give your breath time to come back into a nice normal rhythm. You try to use your belly. Always use that belly breath. And give your mind time to focus on what's most important for you today. Letting go of everything else, but focusing on what's most important to you, what will bring you most joy and love and peace. Focusing on that and letting go of everything else. When you're ready, bring hands to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, even for just this short amount of time. Thank you so much for giving yourself time to get stronger and to grow as a person, or as a teacher, or as a mother, or as a office worker, or whatever you do. If you liked what you saw in this video, please hit the subscribe button. You can find more information about Jillian Studio at www.jillianstudio.com. I hope you go in peace and have a wonderful, blessed day. Namaste.